By the way. Hi, and welcome to my live Snappy Chats on LinkedIn. I'm super excited to be here. I'm Christine Bell. I'm a customer strategist, but we're not going to be talking about that right now. Today is all about learning and growing together in business, and I'm super excited to have my beautiful guest here, Prue, and we're going to meet her just shortly. She's amazing. She's a fantastic photographer. She's a creative. She's a coach. She does so much, and we can learn a lot from her, all of us. So I'm super excited to be here. I do these shows because it can get really, really lonely in business. And I believe we're all going through the same challenges. So why not learn together and grow together? So with this in mind, I want to bring my beautiful guest on, Prue. Hello, Prue. How are you?
Hi, Christine. I'm well, if I'm honest, I'm actually a bit run down, but I'm very grateful for you to invite me onto your show.
I'm so glad you're here, and I'm sorry you run down, but from what I've just heard talking to you, it's because you've actually been busy, which is exciting. We all want to be busy in business, but please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so where do I begin? So I guess I'll begin why I'm actually run down. So I have been the last 2 weeks photographing incredible, high impactful people who want to take their personal brand to the world stage across in Melbourne, Auckland and the Gold Coast. So I've done a lot of traveling. I've done 15 different photo shoots, and for each person, I create something really individual and unique. And a part of my process is tapping into understanding what their goals and visions are, so where they're actually going, and taking photos of them in that future self. So they're bringing that who they want to be into the now, which then magnetizes and helps grow their business from that place as well. So that's one part of what I did, and that's why I'm run down. I definitely made the mistake of overbooking myself. It was so much fun, and I'm grateful that my body held me together through it all, and now I've got the space to kind of fall apart.
Calm down, yeah. Hopefully you have a few days to just calm down a little bit from all the traveling. And I love what you do, because it's not just taking a picture of someone, it's actually really getting to know them and understand who they are so they can feel really heard and seen, which is something you and I have talked about in the past as well, this whole thing around being heard and seen. And I love that you are so aware of who people are and then bringing who they want to be, who they're, who fits the future and who they're stepping into. Love that.
Yeah, it's a huge part of my process, and I struggled for a few years going like, I just don't want to rock up to a photo shoot and take photos where they're at, because this is how you're presenting and putting yourself out into the world. And realize that I need to go a lot deeper with my clients and put a lot more work into the pre-production process and really plan out and create a vision that they are aligned with as well. So that means on the day I do a full strategy and photo shoot brief. So it's got the shot list, what to wear, all the things. And on the day, it's all about our energy connecting and bringing that, to life on the shoot, not scrambling, going, oh, we need a shot here, we need a shot there. It's like we have a really clear vision of what we are creating together.
And I love what you're saying about energy too, because we are energetic being. Even on Zoom right now, this is all about an energy exchange, and you're capturing that in the pictures as well. And that requires you to, I think, tap into people's energy and for them to also connect with your energy, because that's where the co-creation happens, really. So it becomes even better.
Yeah, definitely. And like, if you're sitting in front of a photographer that you don't feel comfortable and connected with, you're going to see that in the photos. So that's why it's really important that, you feel connected, they understand you and where you're going in life as well. And
it's so true in business as well. It's all about energetic connection. Do we really want to work with people that we can't connect with energetically? We can try, but if it's a personal relationship that we're working one-on-one with someone, we got to have that connection. I'm just going to give a call out. There's some amazing people here already. Isabel, Mike, Jason, John. There's so many people here watching today. So thank you. And a big shout out to the House of Business. They're a big community that's building on LinkedIn that I'm part of, and they're amazing in terms of bringing heart-centered business people together. And that's what I know you are as well, Prue. You are heart-centered to the core. So tell us a little bit about a challenge that you faced in business. I guess we all face so many challenges, but what do you want to chat about?
Well, I guess one of my challenges, there's two challenges I actually want to share and talk about. One's an older one and one's a newer one. So an older one at a time that I nearly threw in the towel in my business. I was shooting maybe 4, sometimes 5 days a week. This was in 2015. And I still wasn't financially making ends meet. And I was like, what is going on? I was a single mom. I had a lot of expenses, and then I just realized like I wasn't actually valuing the work that I was doing and the work that I was creating. And obviously people could see that because I was booked out 3 months ahead.
Yeah.
But what I realized I needed to do was actually put my prices up, realizing I was over delivering and like that I was giving a lot of value to my clients, and pull back on the amount of days that I was shooting, and work with less people so I could go deeper and keep that high quality of work. So it was a real burnout stage as well.
Oh, man, you're talking to me right now, because that's definitely a trap that I've been in as well. And I know a lot of people are in this trap in business. We are good human beings. We want to share our gifts with others, and we want to give as much as possible. It's almost this people-pleasing thing that comes back up for me, at least, in terms of over-giving and overextending and always working even harder to prove that I'm good enough. And that is such a big learning that you're just talking about, in terms of we also want to have a balanced life, and we also want to make money, and we want to value ourselves. And it comes back to valuing ourselves, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. And I realized there was kind of two things impacting it. One of them, I was a workaholic because I was avoiding doing my deep healing work. So I think I was in my early 30s then, and I was blocking creating that space for things to come up and to be worked on personally. And then not charging enough, but I also wasn't looking at the life that I wanted to create. And this is what I do in my coaching with clients. Before I coach business owners not to build a massive business and make more money. Like, that's a part of it, but it's actually about going back to the core of what's the lifestyle that you want to create. So at that, I was actually a few years earlier, I said, by the time I'm 40, I want to live within 15 minutes to the beach. I want an apartment in the city and be able to surf whenever I want, and then travel and do amazing photo shoots and work with impactful people around the world. And now I'm so grateful that I have created that life for myself. I live in Byron Bay hinterland. And
anyone in America who doesn't know Byron Bay, it is just the most stunning place in Australia.
Yeah, it is so beautiful. So I'm pretty much just look out to green rolling hills and trees here. And that's how I also can fill my cup and nourish myself. And then when I go on photo shoots and work with my clients, I can really give them all of my energy and be fully present with them. And that's why I'm back home filling my cup again as well. But yeah, when I work with clients, I think it's really important to know, okay, what do I want my life to look like? How many days a week do I want to be working? How many weeks a year? So I've designed my business to work 40 weeks a year. So I have school holidays off with my daughter, and I'm really clear about what it is that I help people with, and just keep working on refining that.
I love it, because you're actually setting boundaries that are healthy and helping you have a healthier life and a more fulfilled life, which I love. And you also mentioned something that I found myself is this whole personal development journey. When I was burned out when I started my business, I actually left my job just because I didn't know I was burned out. I just left it. And then I realized it was actually burnout as I started looking at myself. And then what happened was that my start in business was more about me starting my personal development journey. And that's what has then prompted and fueled my business, which is quite interesting. And I think what you mentioned, this whole thing, is that we're not separate. Our business, especially when we are the owner and we're very much a part of what we're giving, we're not separate from the business. Our personal development is key, and who we are and how we show up is key to how we can service our clients. Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely, 100%. And I remember a quote I heard over 10 years ago was, a business never outgrows its owner. So that personal development work, that deep healing of traumas and relationship issues, like, it all goes hand in hand. And so it's not just about working on what's the best sales funnel in my business. Maybe it's actually about working on your health, or working on your relationship with your spouse or your child. And that then benefits the other areas in your life. It all comes back to the wheel of life and nourishing all areas. And I did find at that time, I was just putting everything into my business, and everything else was falling apart.
which is kind of like, even if we don't realize it, and I've been guilty of this too, it's kind of like the survival mode when we're just pushing and pushing and pushing to show up and feel good in ourselves in our business, and we're excited because people want us and we're doing well and we're making money and it feels good at a, you know, at some level. But if we don't take care of ourselves, then we're still in survival mode. And that's actually driven by that more than going, you know what, I'm enough and I can bring in enough money and enough people that I want to work with if I take care of myself, which is a mind shift. For me, it's a big mindset shift. You say that.
Yeah, totally. And that's what I think, like, you know, if I had, you know, tens of millions of dollars, how would my life actually look different? Like, fair enough, I'd probably have a nicer, more modern house or something, but my day-to-day lifestyle, like, I would still be taking my dog down to the beach in the morning. I'll be playing chess with my friends on the weekend. Sound like a bit of a nerd, but, you know, going surfing in the middle of the day, like, my lifestyle would still be the same. Yeah. So if you can actually bring the lifestyle you want and make your business work for you there, then anything else is a bonus, like nourishing those areas of your life.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it's funny how when, you know, because with the lockdowns, my initial business definitely went through some financial hardcore situation, and rebuilding that business and starting a new business, which I'm more passionate about, which actually gave me time to create something for small business owner that I'm much more passionate about. Now, it's very interesting because what I learned, at least, is that I've let go of so many external things, like having the nicest clothes, letting go of all those things that made me feel good. That kind of dropped away. But the fact that I still have time for my dog on a Monday morning to go for a long walk, go to the beach because we live close to the beaches in Sydney, I spend time with my husband, just relaxing, sleeping, meditating, drawing, things that don't actually cost much, but actually fills my cup.
100%. And it does really go back to your values. Like, if you value aesthetic, beautiful things, then maybe you will make sacrifices in other areas of your life. But I was actually coaching someone yesterday who had come back from a very high flying job in Singapore and lives in this area as well. And she was like, I need to find a job in the city, but she just felt so much fear and resentment around that. And when we did some deep work together, we realized it's actually really important for her to live in this area. It's important for her to have an office to go to because she wants to be around other people and not work isolated and have a remote job. And so really getting underneath, like, you know, what are your values and what is really important to you in life so that you are nourished. And from that place, you have so much more to give in serving your clients and showing up.
I love that. And I'm just looking at some of the comments. Sierra, who's a beautiful soul who you definitely should connect with. Our business is supposed to fit into and enhance our life, not arranging our life around our business. So I love that. And that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, going back to the core of, you know, who you are and what's important for you, and ignoring that noise that I'm seeing so much on Instagram. People just, it feels like they're just yelling at you about how to make more money in sales funnels and post 20 times a day. I actually jumped on my stories last night and just mentioned I've probably posted once a week, if not sometimes once a month, and I've still had a business that sustained me for over 14 years now. So
wow. Are you mostly on Instagram, or is that your main one?
I'm trying to come more into LinkedIn because a lot of my clients are on here, and I feel like you can actually get your message across a lot clearer. But I share a bit more of my personal life on Instagram stories, and then photos. If I do post, I probably have more content than anyone. But it's quite funny. I don't really share a lot on there, but it's also because I'm busy filling my cup, but also serving my clients as well. And like I was going to say, from that space, when you do have a business that supports the lifestyle you want, I know this might sound very cliche, but it allows you to have a higher vibration. Like, you're happier, you're more energized. Your work is coming from a place kind of like this infinite energy that can come through you, and that magnetizes people. That's what creates the abundance, not, you know, all these crazy sales funnels and things. Like, maybe they do work, but I've never used a sales funnel in my life.
Yeah. It might work for some people. I haven't really used it either. I mean, I think there are simpler ways of doing what is technically a funnel, in terms of offering something for free so they can get to know you if that's needed, depending on the business. Offering something perhaps that is a smaller session before we go into the, lots of money session. But for me, it needs to stay simple. No one wants to click, 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 click bait. Yeah. No one wants more to read. No one wants more information thrown at them. And I think for me, that's definitely one of the things I think is an issue sometimes with some of those funnels. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, definitely. And I've downloaded stuff for free, and I've rarely gone, oh, that was great, that was valuable. And actually, I lie, I have created a business map for photographers before, but I have it was just genuinely to help people know a way to connect with them and help them with their business, so they knew where to focus their energy at what stage they're at. But I guess okay, maybe sales fun, there's nothing wrong with them, but as long as it's really meaningful and you're just not making up some crap to sell more crap.
Yeah, 100%. That was a little bit of a sidestep, but nevertheless very important in business. I want to come back to something you said before, because as you said, it's about flowing through you. You attract it, you magnetize. And for me, and I don't know what you think, this is for me is actually where the hardcore personal development or getting to know yourself comes through. It's about really, for me, it's been about really learning to love myself more, really knowing that I'm enough. And it's that energy that starts bringing in the right people, starts bringing in the work that we want without always being out in that survival mode, which is chasing it. And funny enough, coming back to sales funnel, some of those sales funnels feels like we're chasing, that they're chasing something that they don't have.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I was listening to a podcast the other day with Dario, the CEO. I love his podcast. And he was talking about a with or without you energy. So it's I'm inviting you to come and do this with me, and I'm going to do it with or without you. And, it's something that I've created that I think would really help people. So coming from that place as well, not that hard sale place. I've always been more into attraction marketing. If it resonates with someone and they feel connected, then it will work.
Exactly right. And then it also brings in people who generally actually want to work with us or buy our programs or our products. Because we're not trying to push ourselves on others. We're about, here I am, this is what I'm about. If that appeals to you, let's chat.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think when I met you on a networking event, I think, was it back in August or July? I don't know. But immediately it was the energy was there, and it was on Zoom still, but there was an energy there where I go, I get her. I get Prue. I adore what she's about. And some people, you go on these networking, you go, I don't know. I just don't feel it.
Yeah. And I think that's why, and the coaching that I do is really important to help people to deeply connect in, because on the outside they might be grabbing onto, I need to say I'm this person, this is the label I need to wear. But if it's not coming from the inside and a deep true knowing of who they are and how they help people, that energy and connection's not going to be there. There's going to be a resistance, because if also you don't really believe in yourself and what you do, how's someone going to invest in you and believe in you as well? And so that's a big piece of the work that I do, which leads me on to the other challenge that I've been facing. So I've been coaching and mentoring since 2020. I built a business course for photographers and when I became a certified life and business coach. And I've been coaching existing clients and other people, but I haven't actually talked about it out in the world in my social media, because I'm working on it, but it's taking its time to get really clear on what my messaging is around that and how it is that I help people. I feel like I've talked about it on here, but it's to talk about it.
I totally hear you. And it's a bit of a learning process. And obviously this is the area I work in, but it takes time, but it's also sometimes we just have to sit with things. I was actually talking to someone who's on here today, Sierra, this morning. And I was saying, I had this idea of a course and I've actually done it, but I know I need to change it and recheck it. And for a long time, I had nothing coming through. There was just nothing happening. And suddenly we just got to be in the right space. Sometimes it's timing. So maybe, I'm not saying this is for you, but, sometimes when you start the coaching, maybe it's been your time to just get comfortable with it, figuring out what it's all about. And with that, as you're leaning into it, it's going to come more and more to you.
Yeah, I've been coaching. I've done over 200 hours now, and I'm certified by the ICF. And I'm creating that space. But I guess I'm still magnetizing the the clients behind the scenes anyway. And so, I guess it's just going to be evolving and coming through. But I think it's clear in what I've talked about today that it's about helping people, create a business that supports their lifestyle and their values, and having that self-belief and coming from that deep inner place rather than what people say you should be doing on the outside.
Yeah,
if I can put that into one sentence, send it through.
I love that. I love that so much. And for me, I was going to say, and I just missed that point, what I was about to say. So we'll just talk about something else. Sometimes you get sort of like a brain frish coming up. So in terms of there's a question I was going to ask you, actually. I wanted to ask you something. I'm throwing this at you right now, but you work with so many amazing, very accomplished women and people in your business, yeah? From working with all of them and coaching them, is there anything you're taking away with what makes them stand out, in your opinion, in what they do?
That makes them stand out in what they do. Yeah. I think most of the people I work with have that deep knowing and sense of their purpose in the world and how they help others, and their self-worth. So, and then I just
coming back to what we've been talking about is really that, yeah?
Yeah, and it's interesting actually, and I just dive in there and go, okay, well, where are we taking it next, and helping them, show that on the outside. Some of my clients in the past have gone, the photos are amazing, and it takes them 6 months, sometimes a year, to start using them because they're like, I don't feel like I'm there yet. And that's where the coaching and the mindset comes in, is to help them get there, allow them to, sometimes people don't have a vision or goals either. They're like, I'm not sure what that looks like. And I help them get into that place and go, right, well, let's create what that looks like.
I love that. I love that, because sometimes we're always evolving as human being and in our business. And D here just said here, yep. And he's just replying to what you said. He said, yep, digging into the heart of your story and your work takes time, care, and patience. The more you share yourself, the more clarity you gain. I think that is very true.
Definitely. Yeah.
Wonderful. I so appreciate having you on today. Now we're coming towards the end. So before we finish, unless you got anything else you want to add, I'd love to tell people how they can reach you and how they can connect with you, and a little bit more what you do and anything you have that's coming up that might be useful to people here. And thank you to everyone who's on here. We've got quite a few people on here live right now.
Thank you for joining and watching. I can't see them, luckily, because I'd be distracted and probably start feeling shy. So being based in Byron Bay, I have tour dates set up, and I mostly go between Melbourne, Sydney, and I have got quite a few clients in Auckland now. And I will be going to the States. I was going in April, but I'm postponing that now to a little later in the year. And so get in touch with me and I can send through what dates I'll be in each city. Otherwise, you can fly to Byron Bay and work with me here. I also am running a retreat coming up in May. So this is actually a place to really come to my hometown and stay at the most beautiful property in this place. And it's a 3-day reset retreat to reinvent yourself. So
very nice.
Peeling back the layers, dropping into yourself, really going back into your core and going, okay, remembering why it is that you're here and what are you creating. And then the next day is about evolving and creating those visions and goals and shifting your mindset into that new place. And the third day is all about confidently emerging and showing up as that person where you're going. And also you get a little photo shoot with me as well.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to try and save up some money. That sounds beautiful. And Byron Bay is stunning, and working with you would be definitely amazing for anyone who wants, to reach out to you. I'd highly recommend you. So thank you. Now what we're going to do in the comments, and I just realized I only put the banner on. I had put the banner on earlier and just saw it didn't actually show. So we're just putting it on there so everyone can reach out to you. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Let me see if there's any final comments by anyone. Yeah, Ray says Byron Bay is such a nice place. One of the places my US friends must visit. Absolutely. Come and visit Prue in Byron Bay, and I'll go up there too. And thank you so much for everyone showing up. And thank you so much for you, Prue, for being here today. I really appreciate it. So,
my absolute pleasure. Lovely chatting with you.
Absolutely. So we'll finish now. So thank you everyone for